online crew. I have a special guest with me today. I would love you to say hello and welcome Cathy to my live video today, which is a little bit different. I'm just going to check, Cathy, that we're live in the group as well. That we are. Okay. So we've got people watching over there as well, which we can't see on the screen here. It's interesting when what have I done to my screen? When I go live through StreamYard, which I do every time I go live, I can't see the comments from the people in the group, just the business page. So sometimes we miss. So hello, Maria. Thank you for saying hello. So I've just got those comments up over here. So why I wanted to bring Cathy onto the screen is I'm sure some of you that are building a business online, you can relate to overwhelm and all the things that we need to learn in the online world. So we go from, okay, I want to learn this thing called attraction marketing and, utilize the internet to grow my business. You start exploring it and then it becomes completely overwhelming. Right, Cathy?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to learn content creation, and then there's stories, and then there's reels, and then we talk about branding, and then we talk about, okay, we've got to be consistent. And like it has the potential to completely overwhelm people. And I'm sure that's where a lot of people sort of sit when they build their business on social media. So, about 6 months ago, you were in that position where you were completely overwhelmed with kind of the online world and everything that you were learning. And then we started working together, like in my VIP program, and you have just gone leaps and bounds kind of in the last sort of 5.5 months. And I've seen you go from like physically seeing it in your face, with all the overwhelm and things that you needed to learn, to getting some structure in your business, having some confidence with your content, being really consistent, doing things that have scared you, like reels and stories and things like that. And you've just, you've come such a long way in such a short space of time. So I just wanted to share, with our audience, that transition that you've had from going from completely overwhelmed to having some great growth and learning all these skills. Like, if you can share some advice with our audience in sort of how to handle that. So welcome, firstly, please help me welcome Cathy to the broadcast, to everybody, because I know she was very nervous to, come onto this live and sort of share her experience, but I appreciate her being here. And I hope some of her, experience can really help you guys as you listen to, what Cathy has done. So Cathy and I've worked very closely together, since April. And this is, it's just been great to work with you, Cathy, and see sort of, all your growth. So just to show, before I ask you some questions, you just want to share a little bit about sort of your journey, how long you've kind of been in the industry. Cathy is in obviously network marketing. She works with a company. We're in a different company to each other. So, how long have you been in the industry, and sort of what kind of brought you to wanting to learn about the online world, and how did you find the online world before we started working together?
Okay. Well, I started my business about 28 years ago. At the time, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had come from a teaching profession. And the reason I wanted to do this in the first place was I wanted to raise my kids. So over the last 28 years, I had built a fairly successful business. My part-time effort in the business was actually bringing in more than my full-time teaching job. So financially, I was comfortable. I was comfortable, but I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I felt like I still had a lot more in me. And that's one of the reasons that I came to you in the first place. It's like, okay, there's got to be more than this,
Yeah. So what about, like, were you building the old school way? Yeah. Okay. So when you kind of discovered the possibilities and probably seeing people around you go online and, the opportunities that come with that, what kind of were you faced with when you looked at the online world and everything that, when you started looking at that? How did that make you sort of feel?
Well, I mean, I realized I knew nothing. I knew nothing. The truth is, business today looks so different than it did 28 years ago when I started. And I had almost zero knowledge of social media. I had a personal Facebook page that I posted on every once in a blue moon, but I was never using it to build my business at all. And I knew that if I wanted my business to grow in this day and age, instead of just plateauing or fading out completely, I had to learn, and I had to learn fast. And I also realized after starting with you, you recommended that book, The Game of Conquering. Rob Sperry, great book that I read through a couple of times while we were doing this, where he talks about the difference between survivors and conquerors. And I realized, I'd been a survivor a long time. I failed forward so many times and I kept bouncing back, but I really wanted to step up into being a conqueror. So that's kind of what brought me to you in the first place, is like, I kept hearing about this Helen Martin and her reputation for excellence and her ability to teach structure. And I thought, it's now or never. And so I decided on now.
Yeah. So what difference has that made from, working with me like closely, coming into this online world, being completely overwhelmed? And I know, like, looking at your face and hearing you speak when you first came into the program, you're like, oh, like a massive fish out of water.
Deer in the headlights, yeah.
Deer in the headlights, like you could see it and you can hear it. And that was only, less than 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. So what have you learned, or what have you gained from sort of working together in the last less than 6 months that you kind of weren't expecting, or that has surprised you? Like how has that journey been kind of versus doing it on your own type thing?
Oh my God. Yeah, doing it on my own. Well, there's a lot of things that I've learned. I think that the first surprise for me, it was that we didn't actually jump right into social media, which I thought was going to happen. We spent an entire month on mindset, and I really needed that, because even over the past 6 months, I've been asking myself, why had I been putting limits on myself? Why did I believe other people could reach higher levels of success, but I couldn't? I was putting my own ceiling on myself, and I was settling for middle of the road. I mean, it was a good business, but it was still kind of, a little above average. And, that digging has been really uncomfortable, but it's also been really, really important, because I've had personal growth alongside the business growth. And you kept mentioning overwhelm. So I feel like I'm gaining the ability to handle overwhelm. My life is busy, but everybody's life is busy. And, and at times it felt like a lot to learn. I felt like I was really behind a lot of the time, especially for somebody like me who I didn't grow up with social media. We didn't have the internet when I was even 25 years ago, but I learned that it's okay to feel overwhelmed for a moment, and then you just got to take an action. And sometimes that action is really small, but at least it's a forward action, and that you can't stay stuck and overwhelmed and expect to grow. And it's got to be fun. It's overwhelming and it's scary, but you also have to say, okay, all right, I'm learning. This is fun. I'm having a good time. I'm going to come out ahead. I'm going to live through this experience. So it's been a very interesting circle of opportunities that I've come into contact with.
Yeah. And, well done for all the sort of personal growth. I mean, I know people want to learn the social media skills, and that's probably one of the things that surprises people when I start first working with them. And it's like, we're not actually starting with social media. We're starting with what's going on up here, because it's usually our own limiting beliefs and the ceiling that we put on ourselves, or the doubt that we have on ourselves, that kills our business. Yeah. Skills can be learnt, because that's what they are. They're just skills. Anybody can learn to do a reel and push buttons. Anybody can learn to kind of put a post together. But if people have got a lack of self-belief, lack of confidence, putting a ceiling on them, don't think I can do this, it's not possible. No one in my family's ever been wealthy before, I don't think I can. Like, if we don't get to overcome some of those things, or we get stuck in overwhelm and we stay there, because, for those of you that don't know, getting stuck in overwhelm is a choice. Like, Overwhelm is a choice, and we can easily move through it. So we work on, I don't think, the learning ever stops with that, because it keeps revisiting itself every month. We kind of work together, but learning how to pivot quicker, it's a huge part of, being successful sort of online. So well done for all your personal growth, in the last sort of, few months as well. So in relation to like the curriculum that we're following in the VIP program, like everything that we move through every month, like the feedback that I give you, the questions that you can ask, the reviews calls that we have, the accountability that I give you, videos every week, how do you think that has helped your growth in the last like less than 6 months than if you were doing all of that like on your own? Do you think you'd be in the same place?
No, and I don't think I would have done it on my own. So first, like I just said, I don't think I would have worked through the mindset piece on my own, and that really needed to come first. And because I know that my own beliefs were holding me back, and having someone there who wasn't just encouraging, but you actually expected success out of me. I mean, that's huge. It built me up. It strengthened my confidence in myself. And I probably would not have done the personal growth work there. And then the other piece of that, the curriculum, the feedback, the mentorship. I mean, that's that teacher-student relationship, and as a teacher myself, I love structure. I wanted to approach this kind of like a college semester where, you learn this, and then you learn this, and then this, and it keeps building. So that linear nature made sense to me, and it keeps me moving forward, step by step, instead of just spinning my wheels, which is what I was doing.
Yeah. I mean, how many of you can relate to spinning your wheels with, social media? I put a 1 in the comments if you're listening live, or the replay, if you can relate to kind of spinning your wheels. Because that's exactly what I was doing when I first came into this journey. And it's not until I sort of got a focus, accountability, mentorship and stuff that like set me on a path that I could sort of follow. And I think one of the things that slips a lot of people up with social media is the spinning of the wheels and the overwhelm. They're probably the two biggest things. So, when our wheels are spinning and we're in overwhelm, it's a bit of a disaster for business growth. So we have to sort of work through that. And I think for me, I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you because I think it's helped, like having that weekly accountability, like checking in. What did you do? What did you do in the last week? How did you go? Did you achieve it? If you didn't achieve it, why didn't you achieve it? What are you going to do to change it? Like that, like we're doing that every single week. How do you think that's helped with pivoting and your growth over the last kind of 6 months?
That is so interesting. I was just thinking about this because in the last 2 weeks, my accountability video has been very late, and several days late. And I realized, it's like, oh, well, we're getting to the end of the 6 months. This probably isn't as important anymore, but it's very important because it really, like, once I sat down to do it, I thought, man, what did I do last week? I'm not sure I know what I actually accomplished in 1 week. So having that accountability, not only to you, but accountability to myself, and making myself do it, maybe like when I didn't want to do it, you got to do it. You got to be accountable to yourself. And it's like, at the end of the day, what did you do? And if you didn't do it, why didn't you do it? What held you back from that? So all of those questions were very pointed and they were very necessary. And I'm sorry that I kind of dug in my heels at the very end. It's like, I'll get around to it when I get around to it, but it's very helpful.
It is. It's just that constant evaluation, because when we don't, like all of us, no matter what, whether it's business, life, relationships, whatever's going on, health, the whole thing, we need to look in the mirror sometimes and evaluate without emotion. That's where we really kind of make progress. So when we kind of look at, okay, what did I do? What didn't I do? And you really look in the face value for that. It's like, well, I actually didn't do anything, so I can't really expect to have, success or lose weight or whatever you're sort of doing in life. Like, we have to evaluate. The quicker you evaluate, the quicker you can pivot. And when it comes to being successful online, like you want to evaluate minimum once a week as to, okay, how did I go this week? What did I do? What did I say I was going to do that I didn't do? Or, all of that kind of evaluation to really go, okay, I haven't had a good week, but you don't hang on to it. I think when we don't have that kind of accountability, like how many of you just know that accountability keeps you more on track when you need to do something. And honestly, like you said, Cathy, like that accountability, it's not for me, it's for you. It's for everyone that kind of goes through my program. It's for you to keep yourself in track and you to keep yourself pivoting. And the best thing that mentorship has taught me over the years is to not stay stuck. So I share with the community all the time a couple of different phrases that I'm always kind of checking in with myself. And if something's not going very well, it's like, what do I need to learn from this? What do I need to learn from this? It's like, okay, you need to pivot, or you need to get unstuck, or you can't change things you can't control. So park that and get on with it. All those kind of things, like we constantly have to pivot. And the only thing that overcomes overwhelm is action. And that, I think, that accountability, Cathy, like you said, there's things that you don't want to do, but you're accountable to them. So you know you got to do them. So, but you always feel better when you do them, don't you? You feel like you're...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's where growth comes from. Awesome. So for you, in kind of the last, almost 6 months, what's something that you've had a really big win or a really big breakthrough that, or something that you're really proud of that you probably wouldn't have achieved if we hadn't been working together? Like what's something that's been really meaningful to you?
Sure. Yeah. And it was really late coming too. But one of the things I feel really proud of is becoming consistent with my social media content. And it's really taken me a few months but I feel like I'm finally getting the hang of it. I see people are reading and they're commenting and they're engaging with my posts. Wow. And I'm able to respond back, which is creating some really good conversations back and forth. And then not only back and forth with me, but back and forth in the community, which I think is very cool. And, I love knowing that I'm adding to people's lives. So one of the things that touches my heart really is that when people reach out to me privately and they say things like, you're setting such a good example, or you're really motivating me. I told you this before, but just the other day, I had a customer call me, and in the middle of the conversation, she said, you're helping so many people. And I totally got choked up over that. I mean, I get choked up just thinking about it right now, because that's what it's all about. We get to do something important and we get to make a difference in people's lives. So, the other thing I think that I feel like I'm making a breakthrough and finally is being able to articulate my branding, who I am and what I have to offer. That clarity came directly from this mentorship. And if you hadn't made me do it, I probably would just still be thinking about it. I never would have put it into words. So those two things I think are the things that I feel really good about right now.
Yeah. So, congratulations for working through all that, because the ultimate form of compliment is when somebody is saying to you, you are so helping so many people, like, thank you. Like that is the ultimate form of compliment. Yeah. You're increasing your engagement, your connections on social media, you're consistent with your content, and you weren't doing any of that before. So, the work that you're doing, how you've grown in your content, how you're changing your content, how you're bringing your branding into that, like all of that makes a massive difference in our results in social media, and you're growing in all of those areas. So super proud of all the work that you've done, because it's you that's got to do the work. I can do the training and share with you what to do, but you're the one actually executing all of that. And it's bringing massive changes for you that, I can see, and you're getting complimented on. And the thing with engagement is once you get some engagement, and like Cathy's getting not only just one word, like she's getting people engaged, and then Cathy engages back. And then the algorithm really starts firing and it's sending Cathy's content out to more people. So she's getting more reach, more engagement, more connections. And that's what helps you build your business. So all of that is changing from Cathy, from only like a few months ago being a total novice to social media, total overwhelmed, even, in the first month going, I'm so behind everyone else. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if, all of that, to the confident sort of person that you are now, like super, super proud. So, and we've still got, so much good stuff to work on, together moving forward. Yeah. So, the reason why I wanted to highlight Cathy is to show you guys what's possible with going from that place. If you're overwhelmed and stuck in your business, when you start really kind of looking at something like mentorship or working with somebody for 6 months and really honing in on your strategy, your branding, your content, your mindset, it speeds up your results, like it has for Cathy. And Cathy's just finishing off my existing 6-month program, but Cathy and I are going to continue to work together for the next 6 months to keep that growth going and to keep, she's going to some higher level skills now, which she's ready for. Which who would have thought, 6 months ago that you'd be ready for? Who would have thought the next steps? So my program is open at the moment for the 1st of October intake for the next 6 months round, and I only open this program twice a year. So I just really want to encourage, any of you that are still lost, you've been lost for months, maybe even years, that this could be the difference with you getting to where you need to go and speeding up that process from working it all out on your own to, putting all the, pieces together to getting the results that you're looking for. So, Cathy, if someone's listening that's stuck or overwhelmed in their business, they're stuck on social media, they're going around in the circles that you are going around, what would you say to them about like investing in mentorship or a program like, you're working with me at the moment? What would you recommend to them?
I would say if you're stuck, then get yourself unstuck. And like I had nowhere, I just had no idea where to start. And that's why I turned to Helen in the first place. So, I knew that you had already succeeded in your own business. I knew that you had a reputation for helping others succeed. And it was meaningful to me to have somebody, a teacher, take the mystery out of all of this. It really made the difference for me. And I mean, honestly, you have everything to gain just by giving it your all. Just get yourself involved in it and enjoy trying to enjoy the process, even when you're not enjoying the process. But enjoy it.
Have a laugh along the way, but also be willing to do the work. Like Cathy has done the work, even though it's been uncomfortable at times. Even there's been things that she hasn't wanted to do, she's still done them. Like, you do need to do the work. A mentor can't save you, and change your business around unless you're actually going to sort of dedicate and actually do the work, which is what Cathy has done. So just encourage you, any of you that kind of need that kind of support system, training, curriculum, and focus for 6 months, you got to be willing to do the work. I've always treated mentorship, and I have spent tens of thousands of dollars, like lots more money, than most people in mentorship. But I've always treated it like I did my university sort of. So I did, accounting and marketing and law, and like I studied many times. And this digital marketing online world, I treated as the same thing. It was an investment into like a course, like mentorship. And, I did the work because I wanted the result at the other side of it. So I think everybody should invest in some kind of mentorship. And even my mentors have mentors. And you need to be open to, I mean, you've probably heard me in the past, a bit of tough love, I know on some of our calls, and I'm very raw and real about my business and what's working and what's not working. So you get a level of me that, that the public obviously don't get. And I know how helpful that is, as well to the students. So we're a very small group that work together. But anything else you want to share, about the experience, or for anybody sort of thinking about it?
I just think it was really worthwhile. And I know that I would still be spinning my wheels, spinning those plates in the air. Like, I don't know which one I'm supposed to do first. What am I supposed to do here? And I just think it's totally worthwhile. And if you're stuck, then get unstuck. If you can't do it by yourself, then you got to have a mentor. And I thoroughly enjoyed the process, even though I didn't always enjoy the process.
I get it. I get it. Yeah. I hear you. So I want to encourage any of you, like I only open up my program twice a year. It's open at the moment for the October to March, the next 6 months. So the opportunity is there. We have a curriculum we follow for 6 months. We have calls twice a month. Twice a month there's calls. There's weekly accountability videos and like tick the boxes things that you do. Like it's all guided. The training's there, the review's there, the feedback's there. Like everything is there. If that's something that you think you need, put VIP in the comments or reach out to me personally for that information. It won't be a good fit for some of you, but for some of you, it might be exactly what you've been looking for, like Cathy. And, she's gone from that overwhelmed, confused, I don't know how to do this to, the progress and the confidence. And now she's got the engagement, the connections, and people reaching out to her, thanking her, for the amazing work that she's doing. Like it could make a big difference in your world. So, just reach out, put VIP in the comments, or reach out to me personally, and just, we can have a chat about whether it might be a good fit for you or not. I just want to say, there's a lovely comment for you, Cathy. I'm loving your daily post, Cathy.
Thank you, Jane. Ditto.
Yeah, great to see you guys on. Jane, Jen, Rosario, Belinda, thank you for watching. I know Cathy would appreciate that as well. So reach out if you would like to explore that and see if it's a good fit. Cathy, thank you for joining me and sharing your experience. Super proud of you, and, really looking forward to continue to work with you and to see, what the next 6 months brings for you. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.